Okay, Randy's. They're eating all day. Man, the lag is crazy.
Shouldn't you guys be studying for your chemistry test?
Yeah, we tried, but we just don't get it.
What do you mean?
Like, the whole concept of a mole, it's just really confusing.
What don't you get about it?
Everything. Like, what even is a mole? It's like a made-up thing, right?
Well, it's not made up. Actually, it's equal to anything that has the same amount of particles as 12 grams of carbon-12, also known as Avogadro's number. But you guys know that much, right?
Yeah, right.
It's 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd, which is a huge number.
How big?
Basically, it's so big that if everyone was like you and played Xbox 24/7 for 100,000 years, it wouldn't equal that number. Even if they played for 1,000,000 years. It would take them over 1 billion years to equal Avogadro's number.
Jeez, that's a lot of years.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, but what does it have to do with chemistry?
It has everything to do with chemistry. It's basically essential for every chemist to know because it helps them connect the macroscopic world with the microscopic world.
Yeah, I still don't really get it, though.
Alright, just think of it as your Xbox. You can have the controller, and you can have the TV, but without the bridge of the Xbox connecting them, you can't play video games. Just like you can have grams, and you can have molecules, but without the mole connecting them, you can't have anything.
So basically, it lets you go from the grams of an element to the amount of atoms in it.
Exactly. It can also go from grams of a compound to the amount of particles of an element in a compound.
So what's the difference between a mole going from an atom to a molecule or a formula unit?
Well, if you're trying to find the amount of atoms, that means you're using elements. And if you're trying to find the amount of molecules, that means you're doing covalent compounds. And if you're trying to find formula units, that means it's an ionic compound. But most people say molecule, but they're wrong.
So, how do they connect exactly?
Well, if you have grams, you divide that by the molar mass to get to the moles, and then you multiply by 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd, and then multiply by the number of atoms. And if you have the number of atoms or molecules, you do the reverse of that.
Okay, I think I'm getting it now, but our teacher was saying something about how moles can help us find out how formulas work. Is that even important?
Yeah, I actually remember that part. Moles can actually help you find two kinds of formulas. They can help you get the empirical formula, which is an experimental kind of formula, or the molecular formula. To get to the empirical formula, all you have to do is divide the given amount of grams of an element by their molar or by the atomic mass to find moles. And once you do that, you divide each of the moles of the elements by the smallest amount of moles to get a whole number, which you multiply each element by to find the empirical formula. And then what you can do is if you use your molar mass, divide that by the mass of the empirical formula, you get another whole number, and you multiply that to the empirical formula, and you get the molecular formula.
Okay, that makes kind of sense.
Don't forget to label your units, because if you don't do that, you'll get the entire problem wrong.
Thanks, I think I'm starting to get it now.
Yeah.